Senate talks over a massive spending bill have stalled in Washington, pushing the federal government closer to a partial shutdown.
Democratic senators are refusing to advance legislation that funds Homeland Security and several other agencies unless it includes major changes to immigration and customs enforcement. They want new limits on raids, detention, and use of force, arguing enforcement practices have gone too far under current policies. Lawrence Keller reporting.
You're listening to Stuck in the Middle radio show with Alan Edwards.
This is lunacy. It's crazy, it's wacko, it's psychotic. I wake up every morning and say this. It's my ritual. Oh my God, here we go again. You know, every time I say, when you think he can't top himself, he does the next day. So I don't even say it anymore because every day is a new day with this man. If this is not a slap in the face of all law-abiding Americans, President Donald Trump stated that his administration was weighing the idea of creating a compensation fund for individuals who were pardoned after participating in the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol, aimed at disrupting the certification of his electoral loss to President Biden. Can you believe this? He now wants to give them checks. During an interview with conservative network Newsmax on Tuesday, Trump mentioned that members of administration were considering, we'll see what happens there, the prospect of offering restitution to those prosecuted over the incident, quote unquote. When asked if he was exploring a compensation fund to address financial losses and missed opportunities the rioters faced during their legal battles, Trump responded that there is a lot of talk about it, noting that people in the government really like that group of people. Holy macro. Are we on Mars right now?
I am so stressed. I'm tired of hearing about Trump. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of MAGA. They are destroying this country, and I don't understand why they believe Trump is doing good. He's a mess. They're a mess. They're really stressing me out. It's disgusting. It's gross. I need to mentally refresh, and I can't do so if I continue to go on social media and see that large, gross old man spewing his hate. I can't wait for 2028. He needs to be impeded now.
For entrepreneurs and business motivation, go to dime.club. It's all about getting you moving forward, growing, and making money. www.dime.club. It's free. Check it out today.
Hey there, America. Listen up, because I'm about to drop some truth bombs that'll make your blood pressure drop instead of spike. You know that filthy habit you got? Rage watching political news like it's your daily dose of hate porn? Yeah, that's gotta stop. Those cable clowns aren't enlightening you. They're edging you right up to the brink of a furious climax, then leaving you hanging so you'll come crawling back for more. Think about it. Every screaming pundit, every breaking outrage, it's all engineered to pump you full of adrenaline, get your heart racing like a bad Tinder date. Why? Views, baby. They hook you harder than a fisherman's lure in your junk just to sell you boner pills and car insurance during the breaks. It's not journalism. It's emotional Viagra for ratings. So, turn off the TV, step away from the screen, and go touch some grass. Or hell, touch something else if it calms you down. Your sanity's worth more than their ad dollars. Peace out. And remember, rage is a lousy lover.
With his tie half done, coffee cup shaking in that dawn-lit room. Big talk starting about the jobs and the debt, but his eyelids droop like a southern June. Staff still talking about the plan and the wall. He's nodding hard like he's right on track, but that slow head bobbing, yes I agree, it's his chin doing laps on his chest and the back. Sleepy Dawn in the big white chair, dreaming through the brief briefings like he just don't care. World on fire, but the lights are on dim. Everybody working while they're working on him. Sleepy Dawn with the TV on, tweeting in his dreams till the morning's gone. Whole town waiting on the break of dawn, but the country's tucked in with Sleepy Dawn. NATO calls and the phone line rings. He's out cold counting gold-plated sheep. Chief of staff whispering, sir, you're on. He mumbles something about a golf course suite. They will the charts and the maps on, and he's got crumbs from the burger on his tie. Says, looks good, folks, with his eyes half closed, cause it's hard to see the numbers when you barely get them wide. Sleepy Dawn in the big white chair, dreaming through the briefings like he just don't care. World on fire, but the lights are on dim. Everybody working while they're working on him. Sleepy Dawn with the TV on, tweeting in his dreams till the morning's gone. Whole town waiting on the break of dawn, but the country's tucked in with Sleepy Dawn. Drifting through a mansion made of marble and clouds. But back here we're staring at the clock on the wall, saying somebody shake that man before we all nod off, y'all. Sleepy Dawn, Sleepy Dawn, Sleepy Dawn.
You're listening to Dailycast Newstalk Radio, a new way to get your news. How do you like us now?
We're Dailycast Newstalk Radio. Talking about a guy he swears is such a friend. A little side-eye smile when the cameras roll, like only they know something that we don't know. Putin's pal, he says it like a postcard, wish you were here. Laughs a little louder when the name appears. Putin's pal feels so mellow in the way he brags, waving tiny fingers, hugging foreign flags. Putin's pal. Golf cart secrets on a private green, daydream chats about a different scene. Tells the crowd he trusts him more than most, raising up a glass to a distant coast. Putin's pal, he says it like a postcard, wish you were here. Laughs a little louder when that name appears. Putin's pal feels so mellow in the way he brags, waving tiny fingers, hugging foreign flags. Putin's pal.
He literally screamed at the American people for 18 minutes, almost 20 minutes. And I wondered, was by screaming, is he trying to convince the American people that what he's saying is true, or is he trying to convince himself? There are a raft of polls that we've talked about on many Fridays that show that the American people think the country is going in one direction, while the President of the United States insists that everything is great and will be greater still if you bought fewer pencils and fewer dolls for your children. So I don't think he will succeed in convincing the American people that his policies are the way to go to make their lives better, no matter how many speeches he gives, no matter how much barnstorming he does. Because when he does these things, invariably, if the topic is affordability, if that's the prescribed topic, he meanders into other areas that completely muddy his message.
We're Dailycast Newstalk Radio. Ow! How do you like us now?
You're listening to Dailycast Newstalk Radio, a new way to get your news. How do you like us now?
Speaking of hypocrisy, I do want to point out, since we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein, because we couldn't talk about Epstein before. If y'all recall, we were gone for about 2 months because we couldn't talk about Jeffrey Epstein. And now everybody wants to act as if they want to have like a real honest conversation about the victims and the survivors and everybody else. Where was this conversation a long time ago? And I know that y'all love to go back and say that Joe Biden didn't do it. You know, Joe Biden is blamed for everything. Joe Biden didn't do anything and it was Joe Biden's fault. And why wasn't Joe Biden? Joe Biden didn't campaign on it. I just want to be clear. If y'all can run me the tape, then run me the tape. But you know, when you campaign and you go out and you make a promise, then we evaluate whether or not you actually meet your promises. So listen, this was rope that y'all decided to hang yourselves with because the president campaigned on the Epstein files while we were campaigning on things such as affordability. We were campaigning on the things that now people are complaining about, right? Because of the tariffs and the fact that you guys won't say anything and tell the president, hey, sir, tariffs are taxes. We as Republicans, we usually don't like taxes. And guess what? That's going to make everything unaffordable. So now he's going to be our big savior and he is going to reduce the price of foods because he is the guy that actually increased the price of foods. So listen, if you can have this honest conversation about Epstein now, let's just go ahead with this lame duck president and be honest about everything that the American people care about. They care about affordability. They care about the fact that literally people are starving in this country because we have 42 million people. And I don't remember any one of you during that almost 2-month break deciding to go on faux news or any other news outlet and say, you know what, it is wrong to have 42 million people that are relying on $6 a day to eat. And we have the money because somehow our president was able to find under the couch cushion, the one that JD wasn't sitting on, under the couch cushion, he was able to find 40, how much did he find to send to Argentina? 40, there we go. 40 billion to send to Argentina.
This is News in 60 with Alan Edwards.
Explosions and bursts of gunfire through the night near Niger's main airport. Joseph Eckerson with the latest.
Witnesses reported loud blasts and heavy automatic fire close to the airport area where security forces quickly moved in and blocked nearby roads.
The United Nations Food Agency is shutting down aid operations in northern Yemen's rebel-held areas.
The World Food Program says it will halt distributions in the region after months of disputes with Houthi authorities over access and monitoring.
China has executed 11 members of a Myanmar-based crime syndicate as part of a sweeping crackdown.
A court in the eastern city of Wenzhou said the group had lured Chinese citizens into fraudulent online schemes run from compounds across the border.
Senate talks over a massive spending bill have stalled in Washington, pushing the federal government closer to a partial shutdown.
Democratic senators are refusing to advance legislation that funds Homeland Security.
And now, another MAGA reality slap.
Thank you, Mr. Neal. A constituent of my district in Middletown is going to be paying more for health insurance than he does for his mortgage. Let's cut right to the chase. This is about a vote. The American people, this great democracy that we live in, this once chamber that could actually discuss and debate issues, Speaker Johnson should be bringing this bill to the floor today. Do you have the courage to vote, or are you going to run and hide? You have 4 of you who stood up and said, you know what, in a democracy, this deserves a vote. Listen carefully, American people, how they decry this bill, and yet they won't even have a vote.
Full is cool, just for audio professionals, for podcasters, radio stations, voiceover, and more. Go to www.full.io. That's www.full.io.
In the press room, lights are bright. We ask a question, polite and tight. But Donnie's face turns red as hell. He snarls and spits, rings the insult bell. You're fake news, you low-life hack. Your mom's a dog, your dad's a quack. We just want facts, not this crap. But he unloads like a thunderclap. Why does he always insult us, call us scum, say we're full of pus? Pissy little questions make him blow. Grab his ego, watch the tantrum show. You're a fat pig, your breath is rank. Go suck a lemon, you call me skank. Why does he always insult us? 'Cause his dick's small and he's full of fuss. Jim Acosta steps up to the mic. Mr. President, what's with the hike? Trump leans in with that orange glare. You're a loser, go comb your hair. April Ryan asks about the wall. He yells, sit down, you're 5 feet tall. We probe on taxes, he flips the script. Calls us whores, says we're full of shit. Why does he always insult us, call us scum, say we're full of pus? Pissy little questions make him blow. Grab his ego, watch the tantrum show. You're a fat pig, your breath is rank. Go suck the lemon, you call me skank. Why does he always insult us? 'Cause his dick's small and he's full of fuss. Oh, Donnie boy, your spray tan's peeling. Your hair's a nest, your gut's revealing. We just do our job, report the truth, but you lash out like a pissed off youth. Call us nasty, dumb and sleazy, while you tweet storms feeling queasy. One day we'll laugh when you're gone away, but till then, here's what we say. Why does he always insult us? 'Cause deep down, he's jealous of us. Big bad wolf with a tiny bark, hiding his fears in the oval dark. You're a fat pig, your breath is rank, but we keep asking you orange crank. Why does he always insult us? Why does he always insult us? Fuck if we know, but it's hilarious.
Get outside. I've been glued to my screen since 3:15, refreshing my feed like it's therapy. Every pundit's yelling, every thread's a fight, and my blood pressure's rising like a satellite. The algorithm know me, serves me rage all day. I'm doomed, strolling deeper, can't look away. My couch has a crater shaped just like my butt. I'm trapped in a cycle and I'm stuck in a rut. So turn off the TV, close all your tabs, stop believing the orange ones in your head like crabs. Think for yourself, break free from the horde, take a shower, you've been marinating for days. Oh Lord, get outside, the sun still shines despite what Twitter implied. Get outside, there's a whole wide world you've been denied. Get outside. Left versus right, it's a ping pong match. Every hot take's got me ready to dispatch an angry reply to a stranger online who lives in Nebraska and who's doing fine. I'm forming opinions based on headline alone. just think for myself instead of outsourcing my brain to someone else. So turn off the TV, close all your tabs, stop believing the orange ones in your head like crabs. Think for yourself, break free from the horde, take a shower, you've been marinating for days. Oh Lord, get outside, the grass is still green. What a surprise! Get outside, your neighbors aren't monsters in disguise. There's birds, there's trees, there's vitamin D. There's people just living, not constantly angry. The world didn't end while you touch some grass, and somehow you'll survive without that hot take pass. So turn off the TV, delete those apps, stop believing every narrative that's full of traps. Think for yourself, use your own mind, take a shower, then leave your outrage behind. Get outside, I feel the breeze and let your cortisol subside. Get outside, life's too short for this perpetual divide. Yeah, get outside, before you forget what fresh air smells like. Get outside, your plants are dead, but you can still hide. Get outside, outside. Seriously though, when's the last time you saw the sky?
Sharing our voices, opinions, and vital information. This is Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
More listener feedback from the Truthcast feedback line.
Oh, I love you, love you, love you. This is all that in a bag of chippy chip chips. You guys finally got it together and created a station that doesn't piss us off. I love the music, comments, and news. I can be informed without screaming at my screen. I'm burned out with the same boring podcasts. I'm tired of those news panels arguing with each other. I can handle what you guys are doing. Not only handle it, but love it. Keep it up, you freaky fake freaks.
To get on the air and give us your feedback, go to dailycast.news/talk.
And now, another low-energy Donnie break.
I had these animals trying to attack me at Mar-a-Lago. They went into my wife's closet, and I'll say this, number one, it's very bad, but it sounds a little strange. They looked at her drawers. You have drawer, and then you have drawer. They looked at both. And she's a very meticulous person, you know, like these people. It's just like she'd fit into your group very well. She'd be very happy with her. But everything is perfect. Her undergarments, I want to use a nice, sometimes referred to as panties, are folded, perfect, wrapped. They're like so perfect. I said, that's beautiful. You know, it's the part of the world she came from. Everything was perfect, no problem. Fold, fold, fold. I think that she steams them, make sure. Just that it. We came home. I wasn't there when the raid took place. A raid of a popular president, a former president. She opened the drawers and it was not that way. They were a mess. It was all over the place.
Information you need, opinions you want. This is Dailycast Newstalk Radio.
Here's just another chilling example of how the Trump regime and his FCC minions are taking over what you see and hear on corporate media's broadcast channel.
Is the FCC an independent agency?
Senator, thanks for that question. I think
yes or no is all we need, sir. Yes or no, is it independent?
Well, there's a test for this in the law, in the key portion of that
just
test.
Yes or no, Brendan?
The key portion of that test is...
I'm going to go to Commissioner Trusty. So just so you know, Brendan, on your website, it just simply says, man, the FCC is independent. This isn't a trick question.
Okay, the FCC is
yes
not.
Or no?
Is not.
Okay.
Is not.
So is your website wrong? Is your website lying?
Possibly. The FCC is not an independent agency.
Okay, can I read this to you? The FCC's mission on the homepage of the FCC, man. An independent U.S. government agency overseen by Congress. Is that factual or is that a lie?
The FCC is not formally an independent agency.
Is this true or is this a lie?
I'm happy to answer your question.
Okay.
The sine qua non of independence
Chairman. I'll get back
is
to you.
being removable by the president.
Chairman, I have a little bit of time. I'll get back to you.
The FCC is not an independent agency, formally speaking.
Appreciate you saying that and being honest with the American people.
Oh my.
You know what's amazing about Americans? We have this incredible superpower, the ability to completely ignore everything falling apart around us while we debate whether the new Marvel movie was better than the last one. The country could be literally on fire, and Americans would be like, yeah, but did you see that TikTok where the dog learned to skateboard? We've mastered the art of selective attention. It's like we're all wearing noise-canceling headphones, but for reality. Politicians are screaming about the end of democracy. The economy is doing whatever the economy does. Nobody really understands it anyway. And Americans are over here like, I wonder if I should get the large fries or just stick with medium. We've turned willful ignorance into a lifestyle choice. You could tell most Americans that aliens have landed and taken over Congress, and they'd be like, that explains a lot, but can we talk about this later? The Bachelor finale is on. We're the only country where a constitutional crisis gets less attention than a celebrity breakup. The news media is having a collective heart attack trying to get our attention. They're like that friend who keeps sending you articles about how the world is ending, and you're just responding with memes about cats. Thanks for the apocalypse update, Janet, but look at this kitten wearing tiny shoes. Americans have developed an amazing ability to compartmentalize. Half the country thinks we're living in 1984, the other half thinks we're in some patriotic movie, and everyone else is just trying to figure out what to make for dinner. Sure, democracy might be collapsing, but these chicken nuggets won't cook themselves.
Yeah, one of the things I was struck by at the press conference was the nationalist bragging by American leaders that this is a thing they did for the United States, not for the Venezuelans. The United States, of course, acted entirely alone, without any regional support or allies, without any form of international legitimacy, without any action of Congress. There is an indictment by an American court of Nicolas Maduro. So they're trying to say this is like what happened in Panama in 1990 with Manuel Noriega, where U.S. troops enforced a court order. But again, the ambitions here are much greater, but they look kind of selfish and without regard to the Venezuelan people themselves. And one thing that I think is going on here politically, maybe that the Trump administration wants to rule Venezuela, or at least wants to control who does rule. At the same time, millions of Venezuelans have sought refuge outside Venezuela, and the United States is treating them like enemies, in a sense, is detaining them, expelling them, sending some of them to torture prisons. Maybe this is the way that they reconcile those two imperatives by saying, okay, now there's a dictator we like in charge in Venezuela, and we can now round up and expel everyone who fled the last dictator.
I mean, that's possible. I mean, some of the language used at the press conference today was Trump once again repeating that Venezuela had sent its criminals and it's emptied out its insane asylums and so on, for none of which there's any proof. Actually, many members of the Democratic opposition fled the United States. Many people who were simply seeking a decent place to live and a place to work. There have been a lot of successful Venezuelans in the United States. I mean, the smearing of Venezuelans has been one of the ugliest things that this regime has done. I mean, the American regime, I should say, has done since Trump took office. But you're right to focus on the lack of concern for Venezuelans and for what happens in Venezuela. All of the narrative from the very beginning of this conflict has been about, the glory of the United States, the reconquest of the Western Hemisphere. There was a bit more of that today. The supposed loss of U.S. oil that is somehow owed to the United States because it was stolen in the past, and nobody's really unpacked that or explained it. And again, this idea that Venezuelan criminals and crazy people were somehow sent to the United States, well, which again, there's no proof.
A semi-trailer crash in Wisconsin turned a stretch of highway into an unexpected sea of beer kegs, drawing laughs even as crews worked to clear the mess. UPI? State troopers say the truck tipped on its side after the driver lost control, sending metal kegs rolling across multiple lanes but causing no serious injuries. Photos show rows of containers scattered like giant marbles, with traffic slowed as workers carefully gathered them up. Cleanup teams joked that it was one spill they could not mop up with a bar towel, and drivers passing the scene honked, waved, and snapped pictures of the unlikely roadside spectacle. Andy Sanchez reporting.
Hi, this is Sarah calling from Portland. I just can't believe we're still dealing with this. Every day it's some new headline about Trump's dictator news, and his supporters act like he's the second coming. Meanwhile, democracy is literally on the fringes, and people are worried about his new ballroom. We need to focus on the midterm elections and get this clown out of office. This circus has got to end.
Man, oh man, there has been so much today, and I truly don't know where to start. So I'm just going to make sure that we start off with a few facts. So a couple of facts that we need to make clear for everyone is that, number one, Director Christopher Wray, when he was appointed to be the head of the FBI, was appointed by Donald Trump. Now, I will agree that I definitely take issue with a number of decisions that Donald Trump makes, especially when it comes to the people that he decides to appoint to very important positions, including this one, because I did have to make sure that I wasn't going crazy. But when I say that you are the least qualified FBI director in the history of the FBI, that is real, because you are the only one that never even served with the FBI prior to joining, yet we are supposed to believe that you are the greatest thing since sliced bread. I didn't ask you a question. Now, what I want to go through is to talk about why you are a failure and why, honestly, we just need to tell you bye-bye. I know that you got a little upset and you put on your show for your boss because it seems like you're trying to save your job when it came to talking to Senator Booker yesterday. But let's go through some of your failures. So before you were even confirmed, and I think one of my colleague from Georgia, pointed out that you are already targeting career officials so that you could direct illegal firings. Mind you, these cases that you were so upset about, which are the ones tied to Trump, the cases came through his handpicked FBI director. And frankly, when people sit around and say things like, oh, you know, we're happy because now we feel safe. I don't know who feels safe in this country except for the white supremacists, because I specifically as a black woman definitely don't feel safe. And frankly, my colleagues have been real nice to you today, and I applaud them, but I don't have the same demeanor.
Let me get something out of the way. Two things out of the way first, and then I'm going to get into the thoughts. Overwhelming thoughts that I have as someone who's also a global armed terrorism vet, 20 years, and seeing a lot of the same mistakes that were made then by the current administration. Number one, Nicolas Maduro was a terrible leader. He was a dictator. No argument there. And in an ideal situation, he would have been removed by his own people. He basically stole the last election. He followed behind Hugo Chavez as far as dictatorial rule in Venezuela. The people have suffered dramatically from it, to include economically, socially. The whole overview of that country changed in the last basically 2 to 3 decades. It's a good thing that he is gone. That is not, and I repeat, not what the main issue here is. The issue has to do with a lot of things that we'll talk about, but specifically the how and the why of his removal. That's my first point. The second point, and they did a good job of highlighting this in the press conference when it comes to the actual operations that took place last night. Make no mistake, the United States military did what it does. Professional, efficient, mission objectives met, especially dealing with a country that does not have anywhere near the capability to counter American forces. The United States had been there for months, as we all know, and the Venezuelans knew we were coming. President Trump even said that. Didn't matter. It's overwhelming force, and that is done because we have unbelievable, professional, dedicated, intelligent, very smart people that wear the nation's cloth. So as far as that is concerned, bravo Zulu, as we would say, or good job. They did their job. But understand the military is the nation's most powerful asset and weapon, and it only goes where it's pointed to and fired. Okay. Let me make sure that I say that. So, in typical Trump fashion, because he has this mindset of wanting to be seen as a great military leader, even though he's a draft dodger, he wanted to make sure that the spectacle, the awe of the military operations were conveyed properly. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Kane, made a point to lay out the operation, which from an informational standpoint was good. But make no mistake, this is part of the mystique that Trump wants to create with this.
More listener feedback from the Truthcast feedback line.
Why are you constantly insulting Donald Trump supporters? Why are you constantly calling us poorly educated? We have smarts just like anyone else. We got our schooling just like everyone else. We be just as intelligent as the next person. Like it seems the liberal radical left seems to get off on insulting some of the smartest folk in this country. We may not have attended college, but we have work smarts. We have street smarts. We know politics better than anyone. I just think it's a sign of insecurity on your part and the part of the domestic terrorist radical left.
Thank you for allowing the MAGA callers to give their feedback. It validates what we accuse them of. The last caller claiming that they got smarts proves my point. I'm not saying that all Trump supporters are not smart. I'm saying that the majority of them refuse to check facts and will believe anything Trump says. The majority of them are not very smart, and it's proven over and over again when they speak.
To get on the air and give us your feedback, go to dailycast.news/talk.
And now, another 2 minutes of relaxation. Breathe and enjoy. Broadcasting live, 24 hours a day, for Democrats, moderates, and independents. This is Dailycast Newstalk Radio. And now, another 2 minutes of relaxation. Breathe and enjoy.
Another Truthcast Newstalk Radio editorial.
I've just got to get this off my chest. I don't understand what's happening anymore. I've watched for years as Trump has said and done things that would have ended any other political career instantly. He insults war heroes, mocks people with disabilities, brags about grabbing women, and his supporters don't even blink. And it's not just the character stuff. His policies have hurt the very people who vote for him. He gave massive tax cuts to the wealthy while working people got crumbs. He promised to bring back manufacturing jobs that never materialized. He said he'd have a health care plan. Where is it? I've tried having reasonable conversations with these supporters and my family. I asked them, what would it take? What line would he have to cross for you to say enough is enough? And they just change the subject or attack someone else. The thing that drives me crazy is the double standard. If a Democrat did even one of these things, they'd be crucified. But Trump can literally tell people to inject bleach during a pandemic, and his supporters just say he was joking or taken out of context. And now he talks about being a dictator on day one and wanting to lock up his political opponents, and they cheer. They actually cheer. These are the same people who claim to love the Constitution and freedom. I just don't get it. I used to think we could disagree on policies, but